Hello, welcome to another Desmos activity. This one is called Fraction Time, and it's going to help us develop some language around fractions. And you'll click and scroll through the screens like normal when you're working on a Desmos activity. And remember, on the screen, there's always the option of using the drawing tools here, and you can also use the calculator here. And so this one says, how could you prove that each of the four colors represents the same portion of the square? Use the sketch tools on the picture if it helps you explain your explanation. So it's asking, prove it that all of those are the same portion of the square or the same fraction. And here's another one. How does this show the same portion of the square? And again, you can use the tools to sketch on the screen and then write your reasoning into the box. What does 1/5 mean? In your answer, include both what words do you use to say 1/5 and what does it mean? The meaning of notation. Let's focus now on naming the notation 1/5 as 1/5. This means a whole part is divided into 5 equal pieces. Each of those pieces is called a fifth of the whole, or just a fifth. Which of these pictures does not show 1/5 of the figure? What does 3/5 mean? In your answer, include both what words you would use to say 3/5 and what does it mean. So you'll click through each of the slides. Sometimes you just need to read something. And so it'll like give you an explanation of maybe what you've done or dig deeper into what you've just done. And again, here is another slide that you'll need to read, denominator and numerator. And it says the denominator is the sums of money to express in a specified monetary unit. So a denomination is the kind of money. A numerator, so in the fraction 3/5, the number 3 is called the numerator, and the number 5 is called the denominator. And our meaning of this fraction will start with a denominator, which means that the pieces and ends with a numerator, which counts or enumerates the pieces. So each whole with the denominator, the kind of fraction it is a 5 or a fifth part. So the whole has been cut into 5 parts, and then each of those is called a fifth. And so 3/5 means that 3/5, we have 3 of those 5 parts. So 3 to 5, 3/5, 3 of the whole thing that's been cut into 5 parts. And this just answer what fraction of the figure is shaded, and you can use the math formatting button to type in with math and explain your reasoning. And here's another, what fraction is that shaded? And then this is just talking about using these tools if you didn't use them to go back and try that again. And then this one says use the sketch tools to divide the rectangle into eighths. Then choose a different color and shade in 3/8 of the rectangle. So you're going to need to think about a way to partition this rectangle into 8 equal parts. And then you're going to color in 3/8 of those. Remember that understanding a fraction has 3 steps, beginning with the denominator. The denominator tells you how big each of the pieces is and names those pieces. The numerator tells you how many of the pieces you are referring to. So keep the example of 3/5 in your mind. Each whole is divided into 5 equal parts. Each of those parts is called a fifth. 3/5 means that 3 of the parts where each part is called a fifth. So we have 3 of those parts. So what is 3/5 of 20? How do you think of it? For 3/5 of 20, here is each whole 20. There are 20 buttons there, divided into 5 equal parts. Each of these parts is called a fifth of 20. 3/5 means 3/5, 3 of the parts, where each part is called a fifth. You're going to use the sketch tool to circle 3/5 of these 20 dots. And again, we're going on with 3/5, and you're going to use the number line when you're thinking about that. Still on 3/5. Here's another way to look at it. What is 4/7 of 42? How do you calculate it? Now you're going to drag the points to show 4/7 of 42. and input 1/7 of 42 is, so 4/7 of 42 is. Now you're going to drag the points and do the work on this slide, and drag the points and do the work on this slide. Drag the points again and do the work on this slide. And another one. And another. Now this picture is representing the fraction sentence 3/5 of 20 is 12. What fraction sentence does this picture show? So if you don't know, you can go back and think about the other parts that you've just done, and you can always go back in Desmos and look at your work previous. You can also go back and edit your answers. And then what fraction sentence does this picture show? What fraction sentence? And then you're finished. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys when I return. I hope you're enjoying these Desmos activities.